and welcome to Weird Wednesday on BaloneyBrain.com. This is Used Toy, or John, here with Darrell House, or Suburban Hobo if you'd like. And we're here for another installment of Weird Wednesday on BaloneyBrain.com. How you doing, Darrell?
I'm doing great. It just keeps getting weirder every week. You know, I'm loving this news. This is just the best part of the whole week for me. I love it.
Absolutely. I know we have had a blast. We got some great comments last week on the new software. And since it's actually December, I kept the Movember mustache one more week just so everybody could see the final product.
You know what? I have to say that it's kind of a good look, you know. I remember back this past summer when Spider McCluskey was kidnapped and you had that curly Three Stooges thing going on. Wasn't that great? The hair looks good. Stash looks good. You're a handsome fella.
Absolutely.
For a fella.
Well, why don't you kick us off this Wednesday? What do you have?
Well, you know what? We've been beaten up on Florida so bad lately. I thought I would try to maybe stay away, and then you've been more international, so I thought this week I might go a little more international. I found this great story out of New Zealand. The airline down there, Air New Zealand, ran this contest where it was a Christmas contest where people could go to their website. It's called the Grab a Seat website. And they could get a virtual Christmas cracker when they open it. Now, if they didn't win a prize, they had the option of getting a consolation joke. One of the jokes, okay, a little background. You have to understand this. New Zealand is not like the biggest country in the world. And this is sort of an Olympics story, because you know I'm a big sports fan. Valerie Adams won the gold medal in her sport in whatever she does. I don't know. I don't follow New Zealand sports. But anyway, she won her gold medal last year, but she won it by default. So the question that the consolation joke was this: what large, heavy ball was responsible for Valerie Adams' gold medal? Well, the answer that they gave to this was the Belarusian's left testicle. And the Belarusian, she was disqualified. It was shot put. I should have known it. It was shot put, but she was disqualified because she tested positive for anabolic steroids. So, you know, her opponent's left testicle was not the big ball that ended up winning for Valerie to win her gold medal. But it kind of annoyed some people with the answer to that. But I thought it was a very, very funny story. I liked it very much. What do you got?
I got something from your old neck of the woods. A Kentucky mayor busted for selling pot at an elementary school. So we've certainly bashed on politicians enough this year. So actually, if you're the mayor selling pot at the local elementary school, is that wrong?
Well, you know, they used to grow marijuana back during the war, the big one, WW2, for the war. There's hemp, wild hemp growing all over Kentucky. I know because I did live there, and it was the 60s, and we used to, collect hemp to make rope and help for the war effort.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, police said they investigated him for weeks before making the arrest. The probe culminated with him allegedly selling an unspecified quantity of weed to an undercover informant, and he was charged with trafficking in marijuana within 1,000 feet of a school, a felony. Oh,
I thought maybe the unidentified informant was maybe a third grader or something. Hey, kid, want to buy some candy? That's too good. Well, let me jump another here before I get too far astray from Europe, because there was another great story I ran across. This one was from Germany. The other one, we were dealing with New Zealand and Belarus. This is out of Berlin. The dateline on this is a UPI story. It was a German talent show, one of those big super talent events like American Idol and stuff like this. Well, the spectators were treated to an unusual spectacle when a singer named Laura choked on the glitter and the confetti that was raining down from the ceiling. I love it. But then They had an opera singer, Simone Chicarese. She lost her voice. Her voice was breaking up during the clouds from the dry ice that they had placed on the stage. This was all reported in their local news this past Monday. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Later on, there was a fire that broke out on the stage because one of the other acts, part of their act was they smashed up a car on the stage. The car caught fire, and all of the stagehands were rushing out with fire extinguishers. So,
was this a punk rock concert or what?
Yeah, they've got lots of punk rock opera singers. It was like the dead Kennedys on opera. Was that Oprah? Oh, wait a minute. I'm all confused now. What do you got?
The other one, and this actually happened in October, but it was too good not to bring forward. You know, we talked about the NHL a couple weeks ago still being on strike. Well, a top prospect for the Detroit Red Wings was arrested over Halloween weekend for being super drunk in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which I guess is basically being more than twice the legal limit.
They're like uber drunk.
And the dashboard cam, they have it available on the Huffington Post. He gets out of the car. He's dressed as Tinky Winky of the Teletubbies.
I thought the Twinkies went out of business last week.
Not Twinkie, Tinky Winky.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So this
nice Twinkie Winky up together. That's what you got.
This big brute hockey player gets out dressed as Tinky Winky, and I couldn't believe it. I laughed till I cried.
Manly man. Well, you know, I passed on the one story that came out of the NFL this week. Brandon Marshall used to play for the Miami Dolphins. He's somewhere else now. We got rid of him because he couldn't hold on to the ball, but now obviously he's doing better. That's what former Dolphins do. They do better when they go somewhere else, like Wes Welker. I hate him. You know, I loved him in Miami. I hate him in New England. But anyway, Brandon Marshall was reported in an interview that NFL players, some of them are using Viagra. No, not for that. It's supposed to, like, thin the blood or something so you get more oxygen in your blood. They're saying that it will give you an advantage on the football field. Of course, most of us have, I don't need no damn Viagra.
My little blue friend.
I never knew it. Is it blue? I never knew that.
Maybe I can't remember if Tinky Winky's blue. Maybe that was what the problem the hockey player had.
I'm so blue. Did you hear about this one? This is a great story also. This is a great American story. Up in Pennsylvania, a girl was giving a driving lesson to another young girl. So as it turns out, there was a crash. So 26-year-old Bobby Joe Gracisa of, I guess it's Monaca, Pennsylvania, or it didn't look like Monica, but Monaca, Pennsylvania. She was arrested on multiple counts from this crash. As it turns out, she was teaching the teenager to drive when the teen's foot slipped from the brake to the gas pedal, and the minivan jumped the curb and struck a building. Now you think that's not even the good part. Investigators said Gracisa, who was the instructor, her license had been suspended after a drunken drive. Her vehicle's registration and inspection sticker were expired. And they also said that the girl didn't have a learner's permit. Now, on top of that, they both fled the scene, but there was a trail of leaking fluid right to the damaged van, which when they got to the van, it allegedly had license plates that belonged to another vehicle.
Hey, that sounds like my auto instructor.
Sounds like a 4-time loser to me.
Well, my final story is, last week we touched on the animal bestiality brothel in Germany. Well, this week an Arizona woman who allegedly confessed to her boyfriend that she has sex with dogs and fantasizes about incest has been charged with crimes against nature. According,
don't think about this.
it was mad. Well, Sonia was arrested, charged with bestiality, but those charges were later amended to 2 counts of crimes against nature. So is it Mother Nature, the family pet, is Yo Rennie a bad? Or I think people might be showing our age.
Yeah, boy. Well, love is grand. So let me just touch on this because I ran across this, and I don't know that it was so funny, but it is so typical of the modern era. And I don't know if you up in Ohio, if you get these, my email is inundated with Groupon, Gotta Have It, all these different deals. Even Amazon is starting to send them out now where you get like 50% off. And you know what? My wife and I have been married almost 30 years, and saving $1 in a nice restaurant, I'm okay with that. But, the old face of dating was movie and dinner and drinks and all of that, and it's it's a little pricey. The economy is just starting to recover a little bit. So there was a survey that went out about how do you feel about coupons on a date. Well, it turns out that 26% of the people surveyed said they had used a coupon on a first date, and that's up 8% from last year. But again, some people weren't so crazy about it. But here's the flip side of the coin. 26% of the people said they would have a positive reaction if their date used a coupon. 73% said it just might lead to a second date. I wasn't sure if this was a coupon or a condom when I first read this article, but
I'm a little surprised.
You know what? It went on to say that 12% of the respondents said that if their date used a coupon on a first date, there would be no second. 3% would tell his or her date that they thought the thriftiness was offensive, and 1% said that the date would end right there. Now, I think that's a little bit shallow. It's like, whatever happened to going Dutch and all of that. But here's the one thing that I loved about this article was you've been in the hospitality business. I'm in the hospitality business. They did go to say, if you're cashing in a deal on a date, the experts were not to skimp on the tip. And I think that's, yes, cheating a server out of his or her fair share is not the way to impress your company. No matter the deal, make plans based on what you can afford and be honest. If you're using a coupon, don't try to hide it and tip on the full amount of the check. Merry Christmas to waiters and waitresses all over, and bartenders all over the world.
Absolutely.
I'm out of material.
I am too. It's been another great Weird Wednesday. We will see everybody around here next week. And till then, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next week.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays.